Have you ever felt that life itself is a kind of dream, one where you keep waking up, yet never truly awaken? You chase after success, love, peace, and for a fleeting moment you feel alive, only to fall back into the same invisible cage of dissatisfaction. It's as if something ancient and unseen has woven a web around your soul, convincing you that freedom exists only outside of you. But what if this entire world, the systems, the desires, the constant noise, was designed to keep you asleep? What if every distraction was a thread in a greater illusion? A soul trap meant to keep you from remembering who you truly are. Long before religion, before temples of stone, there was a teaching hidden in plain sight. Jesus did not come to build another faith. He came to reveal a forgotten method, a divine code for awakening the sleeping light within you. When he said, "The kingdom of God is within you," he wasn't speaking in metaphor. He was giving you the map home. The real prison is not outside. It is the belief that you are only flesh, only thought, only temporary. And the real key has always been buried within the heart, waiting to be turned by awareness itself. In this journey, we will explore the hidden meaning behind his words, the method that can break the cycle of illusion and ignite the Christ within. A secret that was never lost, only hidden beneath layers of misunderstanding, fear, and forgetfulness. Because once you begin to see through the veil, once you recognize that the same divine breath that moved through him also lives in you, something begins to shift. The silence between your thoughts starts to speak. And within that silence, something sacred is waiting to be remembered. Have you ever noticed how life seems to whisper to you, quietly, persistently, in moments when you least expect it? Maybe you've been driving down a familiar road, lost in thought, when the same sequence of numbers flashes before your eyes. 1111 on a clock, a license plate, a receipt. Maybe you wake from the same dream night after night, a place that feels both real and ancient, a door that you can never quite open, a light that you almost reach but never touch. Or perhaps you've felt it in your body, a sudden chill when there's no wind, a weight pressing on your chest, as if something unseen were trying to remind you of its presence. You tell yourself it's coincidence. You try to rationalize it. But deep down, something in you knows. It's as if the universe itself is trying to communicate through symbols, not with words, but with sensations, synchronicities, and signs that bypass the rational mind. Most people ignore them. They brush them off, choosing the noise over the silence. But those who start to listen begin to realize there is a pattern behind the chaos. Every repetition, every dream, every number, every ache is like a code, a message written in the invisible language of spirit. Have you ever wondered why certain people cross your path at the exact moment you're about to give up? Or why you think of someone just before they call? It's not random, it's resonance. You are not separate from the divine rhythm that orchestrates existence. You are part of it. And yet, there is pain in this awareness, because the more you start to see, the more you realize how blind the world has become. We've been conditioned to dismiss what cannot be measured, to silence the very voice that guides our soul. We chase after validation, possessions, fleeting pleasures, while the signs, like sacred breadcrumbs, fall unnoticed at our feet. You might feel torn between two realities, one that insists on logic, reason, and survival, and another, deeper one that calls you to remember something sacred you once knew but somehow forgot. That's why you feel restless even when everything seems fine, why your heart aches even when you should be happy. Something inside you knows there's more than this constant race for comfort, success, or acceptance. It's not depression, it's not anxiety, it's your soul remembering that this world is not the end, it's the classroom, and the signs that surround you are the lessons written in divine ink only your awakened heart can read. Dreams that repeat themselves are not meaningless fragments of the mind. They are echoes of what your higher self is trying to say. Numbers that chase you are not coincidences. They are frequencies calling you to align with your true vibration. Even the tension in your chest, the inexplicable fatigue, the bursts of emotion, all of it is energy shifting, preparing you for something greater. There is an intelligence moving through your life. It speaks through delays, through pain, through unexpected turns. Every obstacle hides a message. Every silence conceals a revelation. But to hear it, you must stop searching outside and begin listening within. You are not crazy for sensing what others cannot. You are not lost. You are being called. And the signs you see are not just symbols. They are invitations to awaken, one moment at a time. So the question is not whether the universe is speaking to you. The real question, the one that will change everything, is this: will you finally listen to what it's trying to say? There is a hidden teaching that most religions mention, yet almost none truly explain. A truth that Jesus himself whispered between the lines of his words. It is the first key to awakening, and it begins with something so simple that most people overlook it completely: the single eye. When Jesus said, "If thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light," he was not speaking of vision, but of perception, the way you see reality itself. This was never about the physical eyes, but about the inner eye, the pineal gland, the bridge between heaven and earth within your own mind. It is the seat of awareness, the temple where spirit and matter meet. For centuries, mystics, prophets, and sages spoke of this eye, the third eye, the eye of wisdom, the lamp of the body. Hidden in every ancient tradition, this symbol points to one truth: when you see through the eyes of the spirit, illusion dissolves. It is the difference between being trapped in the dream of the world and waking up to the reality of your divine origin. But the world you live in has taught you to keep your eyes closed, to look outward, to seek validation, to believe that everything you need lies somewhere beyond yourself. They call this normal. They call this real. Yet this is the greatest illusion ever woven. The single eye sees differently. It doesn't judge, it doesn't divide, it simply knows. It is pure awareness. The same awareness that was in Christ, in Buddha, in every being who has remembered their divine nature. It is not something you must acquire. It is something you must uncover, like a light hidden beneath layers of dust. Science now confirms what ancient mystics already knew. The pineal gland responds to light, not just physical light, but spiritual energy, vibration, and frequency. When awakened, it releases a flood of clarity and peace that feels as if heaven itself has opened within you. And yet, the system around you does everything to keep this eye closed. Through distraction, overstimulation, fear, and doubt. They keep you trapped in the material spectrum, where the heart grows silent and the soul forgets its voice. This is the first great secret. You are not here to believe in God. You are here to remember that you are part of Him. The Christ within is not an idea or a title. It is the living spark of consciousness that resides in every human being. When Jesus said, "The kingdom of God is within you," He wasn't offering poetry. He was describing a process of inner resurrection, of raising your frequency until your perception aligns with the divine. Think of the soul trap, not as a place, but as a vibration. Every time you identify yourself with fear, with anger, with the belief that you are unworthy, you descend into that frequency, a lower state of consciousness that keeps you repeating the same emotional patterns, lifetime after lifetime. The enemy of your awakening is not external darkness, it is inner forgetfulness. To escape it, you must do what Christ did, raise yourself up. He was crucified at the place of the skull, not only on the cross of wood, but within the mind. The crucifixion symbolizes the overcoming of the lower self, the surrender of the ego, the illusions, the noise. When you silence the mind and focus the single eye on God within, the energy begins to ascend through the chakras, lighting each seal one by one until the crown, the Christ mind, is activated. This is what it means to be anointed. It is not a ritual performed by priests. It is an inner transformation where divine energy flows freely through your being. When this occurs, you no longer pray for miracles, you become the miracle. You no longer search for light, you radiate it. This is why Jesus said, "You are gods," not to elevate man above heaven, but to remind humanity that heaven is already within. The more you align with that light, the more your reality begins to reflect it. Synchronicities multiply, intuition sharpens, your heart opens. The things you once feared lose their power over you, and you begin to move through the world like someone who has seen beyond the veil. But this awakening requires courage, because the moment you start to see, the illusions around you will tremble. Relationships may change, your desires may fade, your priorities will shift. You will begin to feel like a stranger in a world that no longer resonates with your vibration. This is not loss, it is liberation. When the single eye opens, the light pours in, and everything false begins to fall away. The masks, the fears, the limitations, the false identities, all of them burn in the radiance of truth. And in that moment, you begin to see, not with your eyes, but with your soul. That is the first secret. To see with the single eye is to awaken from the dream of separation and remember that you were never lost. Take a moment now. If these words resonate with you, if something inside you remembers what you have just heard, honor that feeling. It is not random. It is a sign that your inner light is stirring. Tap the like button and subscribe to this community of seekers, not as a ritual, but as a declaration that you are ready to remember. You are part of a circle of souls awakening together, rediscovering the hidden teachings that were never meant to be forgotten. And as this light grows stronger within you, a new question begins to rise, one that has the power to change everything you've ever believed about who you are. There was a time when I, too, searched for light everywhere but within. I remember it vividly. Those years when life felt like an endless repetition of noise, motion, and emptiness. I had everything I was told would make me fulfilled, a stable life, people around me, goals, plans. And yet, at night, when silence returned, there was an ache that no success could quiet, a hollow echo behind every smile. It began with small, almost imperceptible signs. The first came in a dream. A narrow staircase spiraling upward into a sky that glowed without a sun. Every night, I would climb that staircase, and every night before reaching the top, I would wake up, breathless, heart racing, as if something had pulled me back. I thought it was stress. My mind tried to explain it logically, but something deeper in me whispered that it was not just a dream, it was a message. Then came the numbers. Everywhere I turned, 333, on clocks, receipts, even the streetlights that flickered as I passed beneath them. At first I laughed at the coincidence, but the repetition grew undeniable, and soon other patterns emerged. Sudden chills in empty rooms, songs I hadn't heard in years playing at precise moments when my thoughts grew dark, feathers appearing in places where no bird had been. It felt as though reality itself was folding around me, trying to get my attention. One night, after another long day that left me numb, I sat in complete darkness and whispered to the silence, "If there's something I need to see, show me." And in that stillness, between one breath and the next, something inside me shifted. It was not a vision in the ordinary sense. It was more like an understanding, arriving all at once, that I had been living with my eyes open but my soul asleep, that I had mistaken movement for growth and noise for meaning, and that the staircase in my dreams was real, not outside of me, but within me. The following weeks felt like stepping into another dimension layered atop the old one. Colors seemed brighter, sounds more resonant, emotions sharper yet cleaner, as if they carried meaning beyond words. When I closed my eyes, I felt an energy rising from the base of my spine, a warmth that spiraled up toward the center of my head. Subtle at first, then radiant like liquid light. It was not imagination, it was remembrance. For the first time I understood what the ancient texts meant when they said, "The Word became flesh and dwelt among us." It was not about a distant story. It was happening inside me. The divine was not visiting. It had always been here, waiting for me to open the door. And as that realization unfolded, something extraordinary happened. I began to sense people differently. Strangers' eyes seemed familiar. I could feel the emotions of others before they spoke. And in moments of deep peace, I saw flickers of light, gentle, golden, like a presence moving between worlds. One evening I sat beneath a tree, and as the wind brushed through the leaves, I heard a voice, not outside, but inside my awareness, calm, without words, yet full of meaning. "You are not seeking me. You are remembering me." I wept. Not from sadness, but from recognition, as if something ancient within me had finally exhaled after centuries of silence. That night, the staircase dream returned one final time, but this time I reached the top. And at the summit, there was no figure waiting, no celestial being, no thunder of revelation, only a vast stillness, infinite and luminous. And from within that stillness, I heard my own voice, yet it was not mine, whispering, "I and the Father are one." When I awoke, the world had not changed, but I had. Every sound, every face, every simple moment shimmered with quiet divinity. The pain, the confusion, the chaos, all of it was part of a great design pushing me toward awakening. What once felt like punishment now appeared as guidance. Every delay, every loss, every heartbreak was not random. It was the soul's curriculum. Since that moment, the signs have never stopped, only evolved. Sometimes through dreams, sometimes through music, sometimes through strangers who say exactly what I need to hear. Each is a reminder. The universe speaks to those who dare to listen. And maybe you felt it too. A pull you can't explain. A sequence of signs that seem too precise to be accidental. A sudden knowing that something beyond logic is guiding your steps. If any of this resonates, if your heart is beating a little faster right now, that's not coincidence. It means you've begun to awaken to the same truth, that the divine is not somewhere far away, but woven through every breath you take. Tell me in the comments, what signs or experiences have reminded you that there is more to this life than what we see? Share the moments that made you question, the dreams that refused to fade. Because this isn't just a channel. It's a community of souls awakening together. I read each message, and in the next video, I may share your story, a story that might be the light someone else needs to hear. And as you think of the signs that have guided you, one question remains, a question that can open the next door in your awakening. What if every sign you've ever received was never random, but a part of a divine plan waiting for you to remember who you are? The second great secret is hidden in plain sight, disguised as the most ordinary thing in the world, your breath. Every tradition that has ever touched the divine, from the mystics of the desert to the sages of the East, understood that breath is not just air, it is spirit in motion. The Hebrew word for spirit is ruach, in Greek, pneuma, both mean breath. Every inhale is a reminder that God is within you, and every exhale is a return to that source. You've probably noticed that when you are anxious, your breath becomes shallow. When you are calm, it flows freely. Yet very few people realize that by consciously breathing, you can cross the veil between the mind and the soul. You can move from chaos to peace, from the illusion of separation to the remembrance of unity. Jesus hinted at this mystery when he appeared to his disciples after the resurrection. The Gospel of John says, he breathed on them and said, "Receive the Holy Spirit." He wasn't performing magic. He was demonstrating a law of consciousness. The divine energy moves through the rhythm of breath. The Spirit is literally the breath of life. When you forget to breathe deeply, you disconnect from the present moment. And the present moment is the only place God exists. That's the first sign that your soul is trapped. Your breath shortens, your mind races, and you feel separate from everything around you. But when you breathe with awareness, you begin to feel that sacred pulse, the same pulse that moves the tides, grows the stars, and whispers through every living thing. Here is the practical technique, the key to awakening the Christ within through breath. Find a quiet space where you will not be disturbed. Sit upright, feet grounded, spine aligned. Close your eyes and take one deep inhale through your nose, not forcing, but allowing. Feel the air enter your lungs, your chest expanding, your heart gently opening. Hold the breath for a few seconds. In that stillness, silently affirm, "I am the light within." Exhale slowly through the mouth, releasing all tension, all thoughts. Imagine the exhale carrying away fear, doubt, and every illusion that keeps you small. Repeat this process 7 times with full awareness of every breath. As you continue, focus your attention between your eyebrows, the single eye Jesus spoke of. After the 7th breath, simply sit in silence. Do not try to feel anything, just listen. At first, it might feel like nothing is happening, but if you stay still long enough, something subtle will begin to shift, a vibration, a warmth, a sense that the air itself has changed texture. That is not imagination, that is the Spirit moving within you. When practiced daily, this simple exercise starts to reprogram your nervous system. It rewires your perception. You'll notice that colors look brighter, intuition becomes sharper, and coincidences start to unfold around you with divine precision. You begin to live in rhythm with something greater than yourself. And here lies the second secret. The more conscious your breath becomes, the more conscious your soul becomes. Because in truth, you and your breath are not two. The breath is the bridge between heaven and earth, between body and spirit, between illusion and awakening. This is how you escape the soul trap. The trap was never physical. It was psychological, an invisible cage of distraction, fear, and disconnection from the present. Every shallow breath feeds that illusion. Every conscious breath breaks its chains. When you breathe with awareness, you reclaim your divine rhythm. You begin to notice patterns, moments when life seems to pause, as if waiting for you to exhale. Those pauses are sacred. They are the moments when heaven listens. You'll find that the more you return to your breath, the more synchronicities appear. A song that speaks exactly what you needed to hear, a stranger's words that mirror your thoughts, a sudden moment of peace in the middle of chaos. That's the universe responding to your vibration. The Christ within awakens not through effort, but through alignment. When you breathe consciously, you align your mind with your spirit, your thoughts with divine intelligence. This is what the ancient Gnostics meant by the kingdom within. It's not a destination, it's a frequency, one you can access at any moment simply by remembering to breathe. Many seekers spend years searching for spiritual secrets hidden in scriptures, rituals, or temples. But the true temple was always your own body. The altar is your heart. The sacred incense is your breath, and every inhale is an invitation to enter that temple again. If you wish to experience this for yourself, try this small experiment. The next time you feel fear, don't resist it. Instead, close your eyes, inhale slowly, and whisper, "This too is God." Then exhale and feel how even the fear begins to dissolve into light. you'll realize that divinity is not only found in joy, but also hidden in the shadows of your own mind. Every emotion, every heartbeat, every breath, all of it is the language of God calling you home. That is the great secret behind the act of breathing, not just to stay alive, but to become life itself. To remember that you are not the one breathing. It is the divine breathing through you. So each time you feel lost, anxious, or overwhelmed, pause, breathe, return to the center, because in that single breath lies everything you've ever searched for. And as you awaken to this truth, you may start to sense something else, a presence even deeper than the rhythm of breath, a pulse beneath the pulse. It's the next veil, the next secret, one that has been guarded for centuries because few are ready to hear it. If you're feeling this awakening within, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our community of seekers, a circle of souls remembering what was once forgotten. Because what comes next reveals the most hidden sign of all, one that even the ancients feared to speak aloud. And once you know it, you can never see reality the same way again. There is a moment in every seeker's journey when understanding no longer comes from words, when knowledge itself dissolves into something higher, remembrance. It is not the mind that remembers, but the soul, the ancient, eternal part of you that has lived beyond stars, beyond names, beyond time itself. And here lies the most hidden secret, the one buried beneath centuries of dogma and distortion. You are not moving toward the divine. The divine is moving through you. Every breath, every heartbeat, every thought is the pulse of God exploring creation through your consciousness. The third and deepest sign is something few ever recognize because it doesn't appear outside of you. It happens within. It is the still point between two breaths, the silence between two thoughts. That is where heaven hides. That is where the Christ awakens. For ages, humanity has searched for God in temples of stone, in rituals, in hierarchies. But Jesus came to tear the veil. Not just the veil of the temple, but the veil within the human mind. When he said, "The Father and I are one," he wasn't speaking as a man apart. He was speaking as consciousness itself, reminding us that the separation between creator and creation exists only in perception. Every ancient mystery, from the Egyptian Ka to the Vedic Atman to the Christian I Am, pointed toward this same revelation. God experiences God through you. You are not a fragment of the divine. You are the divine remembering itself in human form. This is why your thoughts shape your world, because when you think, you do not simply imagine, you create. Your mind is the brush, your emotion is the paint, and your belief is the canvas. Quantum physics calls it the observer effect. The mystics call it faith. Jesus called it, "As you have believed, so shall it be done unto you." The line between science and spirituality dissolves in that truth. Reality bends to consciousness, and consciousness is divine. Every cell of your body responds to your thoughts. Every atom rearranges itself to mirror your vibration. That is not poetry. It is the design of existence. The soul trap the ancients warned about was never a physical prison. It was the hypnosis of forgetfulness, the belief that you are powerless, small, separate. The real awakening is the moment you stop trying to reach God and start realizing you already are the expression of God. And yet this realization is not arrogant, it's humbling beyond measure. Because when you truly see it, when you feel it, when it moves through your chest like a quiet explosion of light, you understand. Every person you meet is also him. The beggar, the stranger, the child, the enemy. They are all mirrors of the same infinite consciousness, playing different roles in the same divine play. You begin to feel compassion so deep it hurts, not because you pity others, but because you can no longer find the line where you end and they begin. The illusion of separation dies, And what remains is love, not the love that comes and goes, but the eternal force that holds galaxies together. This is the revelation Jesus lived to demonstrate. His crucifixion was not just suffering, it was symbolism. The horizontal beam of the cross represents the material world, time, matter, duality. The vertical beam represents spirit, eternity, ascension, union. Where they intersect is the heart, the center of all dimensions, the throne of Christ consciousness. That is why he always pointed there, not to his pain, but to his purpose. When the energy of the lower self rises through the heart, it meets the divine descending from above. Heaven and earth embrace within you. That is the true resurrection, the birth of the eternal within the temporal. And once you experience that inner union, even for a moment, everything changes. Food tastes different. Colors breathe. The simplest breeze feels like a message, and you can no longer harm another without feeling it in your own body. If these words resonate in you, if you've ever felt a sacred electricity beneath your skin while hearing truth, then you are not merely watching a video, you are remembering, and this remembrance is what the world needs most right now. If you feel this truth stirring within you, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our community. This work is not done for profit. It's done out of love, devotion, and a longing to help others awaken to the light they already carry. Every subscription, every comment, every moment of resonance helps this message reach another soul who may be standing right where you once stood, searching in the dark for what was always inside. Because when enough hearts awaken, the illusion collapses. The system that thrives on fear cannot survive in a world filled with light. And the more you remember who you are, the more others begin to remember too. That is the prophecy hidden within all prophecies, that the Christ will return not as one man, but as the awakening of millions of souls realizing their unity with the divine. It will not come from the sky, it will rise from within. And when that happens, the old world will fall away, not through destruction, but through illumination. You are part of that awakening. And somewhere, deep within your being, you can already feel it. That trembling in your chest, that call that will not let you rest. It is the divine knocking from the inside, waiting for you to open completely. But there is one last truth, a revelation so profound that even those who awaken often overlook it. It is not about light or darkness, heaven or earth, even life or death. It is the secret that unites them all, the final key to becoming fully free. And once you see it, once you feel it, nothing about existence will ever be the same again. In the end, everything you've been searching for, every sign, every number, every dream that has followed you through sleepless nights, was never random. It was the divine calling your name in a language older than words. You weren't just lucky to see the patterns, you were chosen to remember. All along, life has been whispering to you through the smallest details. The moment the wind stopped, right before you made a choice, the stranger who spoke the exact words you needed to hear, the unexpected peace that came when you finally stopped running. These were not coincidences. They were coordinates, each one guiding you closer to the center of your being, to the eternal spark that Jesus called the kingdom within. Everything you've heard in this journey, the single eye, the sacred breath, the revelation of unity, is leading to one truth. You were never separated from the source. You only believed you were. You are the bridge between heaven and earth, the meeting point of matter and spirit. Every time you choose love over fear, forgiveness over resentment, stillness over noise, you lift the vibration of the entire world. That is how the Christ returns, not through clouds and thunder, but through awakened hearts shining quietly in the dark. Maybe you've felt small, forgotten, invisible. Maybe life has tested you until you've wondered if God still hears you. But the truth is, He's never stopped speaking. You just had to remember his voice wasn't somewhere above the sky. It was inside your own breath. The light you've been waiting for is not coming to you. It's coming through you. And when you allow it to shine, it touches everyone you meet. Family, friends, even strangers who may never know your name but will feel something sacred in your presence. That is how one awakened soul can change the destiny of thousands. Think about it. Every era of humanity was changed, not by crowds, but by individuals who decided to live as vessels of truth, who chose to be light when the world forgot it. Right now, that same invitation is reaching you. It doesn't ask for perfection. It asks for openness, to live awake, to see beyond appearances, to walk as someone who remembers that eternity beats inside your chest. If your heart is beating faster right now, if something inside you feels lighter, that's your confirmation. You are ready, not for escape, but for embodiment. To live as the proof that heaven is not a distant realm, but a frequency of love that can exist right here in this world, through you. And as you awaken, the signs won't stop. They'll multiply. Dreams will sharpen. Numbers will appear with precision. The people and moments you need will find you. Because once you align with divine awareness, the universe reorganizes itself around your purpose. So take a breath, slow, deep, conscious. Feel that breath fill your lungs. That is the Holy Spirit alive in you. You are not broken, not lost, not too late. You are exactly where you were meant to be, remembering who you've always been. Before you go, I want to invite you to be part of something sacred, this community of awakening souls. If this message touched you, leave a like to help this light reach more hearts, and subscribe to our channel. This work isn't driven by profit. It's driven by purpose, by love, by the calling to awaken together. Your support means more than numbers. It means that this message keeps traveling, keeps igniting, keeps healing. And I'd love to know who you are. Write your name and city in the comments below. Tell me where in the world you're watching from. In our next video, I'll read some of your names and send a personal blessing from my heart to yours. Because we are not strangers, we are travelers of the same light, remembering home together. As you close this video, keep this truth with you. Every sign you've seen, every breath you take, every moment of awareness, they're all proof that God is not far away. He is within you, waiting to be lived, spoken, and loved through you. So, wherever you are right now, pause, breathe, and whisper softly, "The light within me is awakening." And perhaps, if you listen closely enough, you'll hear the universe whisper back, "I've been waiting for you to remember."